It's National Coming Out Day, and I'm pansexual and gender fluid. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite hood healer. It's your favorite hood high priestess. It's your favorite motivational dominatrix. It's your favorite auntie, captain, goddess, king. LadySpeech in the place to be, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. You could be anywhere. As a matter of fact, you are somewhere in this big, lovely, wide world, and you're also sharing a little bit of time and a little bit of space with me. So thank you, 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 thank you for that. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you are feeling this, if you are feeling me, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with everything I'm doing over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, let's get into today's video. Wow. Let's get into today's video, shall we? Today is October 11th, 2021. And today in America is National Coming Out Day. So I figured there is no better day than to talk about, number one, the fact that I'm pansexual, number two, the fact that I am gender fluid, and number three, my relationship to National Coming Out Day, or just to coming out in general. Let's get into it, darling. Let's get into it. Let's talk about being pansexual and what that means to me. I knew at an early age that I was attracted to more than one type of person. I knew that I was attracted to people. I've known from a very early age that I found people attractive. And for me, it has always been about the essence of a person, the totality of a person, the way they expressed themselves, the way they identified who they were at their core. It was the way that they stimulated my brain. For me, when I began to feel attraction to people, I was attracted to people who contained multitudes. Well, we all contain multitudes, but I was always attracted to people who were able to tap into and express the different layers and multitudes of who they are and who they were, who they've always been. I've always known from a very young age that I was attracted to the essence, to just people. When I began to come into my sexuality and my definitions, I knew in the beginning, with the limited language that I had around gender and around gender expression and around sexuality and sexual expression and sexual orientation, I knew that I was attracted to men and women. That's when I began to develop my definitions. I knew I was, attracted to men and women. So the first definition I landed on was bisexual. And I wore that for a very long time. And that felt really appropriate. And it still feels appropriate, it still feels appropriate, actually. It still feels appropriate. But it also didn't feel in the beginning the way that I defined it and the way that it was defined to me. It really did not feel complete. It really wasn't until I came upon the term pansexual where I felt my sexual orientation definition was complete, where it defined and it distilled what I've always felt from the very beginning when it comes to my sexual orientation and who I'm attracted to sexually, as well as who I just like in general as people. But pansexuality really, for me, when I first heard that, it really encapsulated what I felt in regards to my sexual orientation. And pansexual to me is really just that. It doesn't matter a person's gender orientation. It doesn't matter a person's sexual orientation. I am attracted to the essence, to the core, to the totality of a person. So this means I am attracted to lesbian women. This means I am attracted to trans people. I am attracted to non-binary people, gender fluid people, cisgendered people. I am attracted to people who are straight. I am attracted to people who are gay. I am attracted to people who are gender fluid. I'm attracted to everybody. I'm attracted to people. I'm attracted to people. I'm attracted to people. That is what pansexuality means to me. It doesn't matter what you got going on with your genitals. It doesn't matter what you got going on as far as how you identify in regards to gender and how that may shapeshift for you and how that may morph and grow for you and expand. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation. I'm attracted to people. I am attracted to people. People are beautiful to me, you know. Now, let's get into this gender fluidness, darling. Let's get into this gender fluidness, baby. I have also known from a young age that I was gender fluid. And when I began to have vocabulary around this internally for myself, the way that I first related to it and the language that I first used around it wasn't necessarily like around gender fluid. What I used and how I rationalized what I felt inside of me was I felt like I had equal parts access to the divine masculine energies, and I had equal parts access to the divine feminine energies. And I've always felt like this. I have done a lot of research over the years into my sign, which I'm a Libra. Everybody knows at this point. You should know. I've done a lot of research into my sign, and I find that this is kind of common with us because we are the scales and because we are the inanimate object in the zodiac. They say that I find there's a lot of text that I've read over the years that a lot of Libras, not true for all Libras, that a lot of us tend to occupy this kind of androgynous gender fluid space. So this is something that I've always identified with. I've always recognized I had a very masculine energy inside of me. Even on the playground, there'd be times when I would play with the girls and I would be in a very femme energy, and you know, I would play these really femme girl games, and you know, I would be in it. And then there would be times when I would play with the boys, and I would not play like a boy. Like I played like in boy energy. Like I would be in that energy, you know. It wasn't a girl being, I wasn't a tomboy, like I was a boy. I would match that energy. There would be something in me that would be activated. So from a very young age, I always kind of felt it. And I kind of just felt that, I almost felt like this is what everybody felt. I didn't discuss it, and it wasn't a big deal to me. There was something, when I rationalized it, when I came to this kind of energy inside of me when I was little, I was like, oh, we probably all feel like this. It's good. I didn't even question it. I just was like, oh, moving on. And then when I began to, it was when I was in my preteen space, and I began to, even though I was growing up Jehovah's Witness, I had a lot of access to a lot of adult things. But one of the things that I was researching on my own, and it was sparked because of what I was learning in school through mythology and social studies. But I was beginning to tap into, you know, mysticism, and as soon as I heard the concept of the divine masculine and divine feminine, I was in there. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I have the divine masculine energy and I have the divine feminine energy. So that's how I rationalized it for so long. And then I got a hold of the term gender fluid. Well, first I was like, androgynous, that seems correct. And then when I got a hold of the name gender fluid, and the more research I did around, not the name, but when I came a hold of the vocabulary gender fluid, and then I was doing more research around gender and all that stuff, I was like, oh, yep, that makes sense. I'm every gender, it's all in me. So literally what that means to me is I identify with the divine masculine, yes. I identify with the divine feminine, yes. And I identify with the divine other, yes. I believe that there are more than one gender. I believe that there are more than one gender. So for me, I believe that there is an in-between. There is a divine masculine, a divine feminine, and an in-between. And the in-between encompasses a lot of things. So yeah, that is what that means to me. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, he, king. All right, so I'm every gender, baby. We over here living this gender fluid life. We over here living this gender fluid life. We over here living this gender fluid life. And I'm low-key also waiting for a video to load. So if you see me checking in with the screen, that's me trying to not make the screen go black. I'm gonna go ahead and just own that. I'm gonna go ahead and just own that right now, so. Let's talk about my relationship to National Coming Out Day. My relationship to National Coming Out Day. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my life, in my personal life for me, coming out was never, coming out to people was never, and still isn't, like, a huge deal to me, except in regards to my safety, okay? Because I live out loud and I contain multitudes and I live in all of my iterations, I live in all of my forms, because I work hard to express myself at all aspects of me. If you hang around long enough, you're gonna see who I am. You're gonna see all of who I am. I'm not gonna hide it from you. Like, you're gonna see every aspect of who I am. This is gonna include the gender fluid energy and the gender fluid identification. This includes my pansexuality. Like, my true colors will show. In the beginning, my definitions were something that I was developing and known to me, and they shifted, morphed, and they changed. But it wasn't actually, I didn't care for people to label me. I didn't want people to label me as straight. I didn't want people to label me as bisexual, pansexual, as queer. I didn't want anybody's labels for anything. I literally, for years, even though, like, I had my own labels, and the labels that I defined myself as were very freaking important to me, it wasn't really important to me to, like, for other people to have labels about me in regards to my gender, in regards to my sexuality and how I express that. So, like, because of these were my thought processes, coming out didn't hold a lot of weight for me. Even now, the way it does hold weight for me is because I'm very aware of the discrimination, of the hate that I will face because of the way that I identify in different ways, you know? And so those, like, I care about the coming out space in that space, you know what I'm saying? And I'll use that information as I use that information. You know, there's some people that I have found out, and I've known that they were hateful people. They were bigoted, hateful, prejudiced people, and they thought I was straight, and I came out to them to draw a line. I come out to them to be like, no, this is who I am. This is the people that I love. This is my stance. And this is where I am. This is who I am. So this is the line that's being drawn. And I understand that you are hateful towards these type of people, which I am included in these type of people. So what's up? Line in the sand, what do you want to do? Do you want to stop dealing with me? Like, what is this? Like, you know, I will, you know, or other times I'll get that information and I'll know to remove myself if I'm in a situation where my life is in danger, or my life could be in danger, or other people that I love, their life could be in danger. You know, so yeah, that's how I feel about, you know, personally, a National Coming Out Day. You know, it's never been a big deal for me. I don't regularly participate in National Coming Out Day. When I feel moved by spirit to participate, I do. I was deep into adulthood, and deep into, I had shifted my attitude in my early 20s. I was really about the I don't want your labels thing. And then in my mid 20s to late 20s, that's when I began to embrace labels more. And so it was during that shift from my mid-20s into my early 20s into my mid-20s where I went from not really wanting any outward labels and still working on my labels till my mid-20s, where I kind of was solid in my labels, a lot more solid in my labels, and I was okay with other people knowing those labels and defining me by those labels that I had self-imposed. That I shifted into wanting to participate in National Coming Out Day at all. And I didn't, again, it wasn't something that I felt moved to like do on a regular basis, but and that also kind of coincided with the fact that I was developing a public, or I had a public persona at that space, and knew it was important for younger people who were looking at me to see a positive reflection. And that's kind of also what really motivated me into beginning to share a lot more and care a lot more about National Coming Out Day, and wanting to share my story on National Coming Out Day. So I believe that National Coming Out Day is important. I believe that people have varying degrees where they feel about it. If you are someone who identifies as queer, if you're a part of the LGBTQI community, the alphabet mafia, as I like to say, if you are part of the crew, and National Coming Out Day is not a big deal to you, I dig it. I absolutely understand that. If you are part of the alphabet mafia, if you're part of the crew, and coming out is important to you, I understand that as well. I understand that as well. I do feel that for me personally, National Coming Out Day is important. It is important. It is absolutely important. And when I feel moved to speak on it, when I feel moved to share my story, I do. Also, like, I share my story a lot, and I share my story in passing. I share my story when I share myself on social media. I share my story when I teach. I share my story when I create my art. So also, that's the other reason why these types of national expressions mean a lot, and they're important, but also they mean something different to me, because I spend a good portion of my life speaking to these very intimate things. I spend a good portion of my life, I spend a good portion of my energy speaking to these very things about myself on a regular basis, in celebration, and also in defense, you know, due to global anti-blackness, due to homophobia, due to all types of things. Like, because I am a marginalized person who marks off many boxes in regards to marginalization, I end up, and I'm also a public person, and the personality type that I have, I'm a vocal person, and I'm an artistic person, and I'm a public person. Because of all of those intersections, I find that, and because of what it is that I do in my life and I'm called to do, I speak to these things on a regular basis. So personally, and I have been for a while, so personally, National Coming Out Day hasn't meant as much to me as it has meant to others. I do recognize the importance of it, and I do believe it is important. And this was one of those National Coming Out Days where I felt like, and I was moved in my spirit to speak. And also, I'm someone who doesn't want to use these days in a commodified fashion. I don't want to like just capitalize on this day just because. You know, I don't want to use this day to make content just because and get views. Like, if this is a day where we can bring honor to something, or we can bring light to something, and I feel moved on a very personal and on a very real basis to speak on it, then I want to do that, you know, and I want to do it from an authentic and genuine perspective always, because these subjects are important and coming out is important. So yeah, it's National Coming Out Day, and your favorite auntie, Captain Goddess, LadySpeech, is pansexual and gender fluid, just in case you didn't know. And once again, my pronouns are she, her, them, they, he, king. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. And that's that on coming out. If you are part of the Alphabet Mafia, happy National Coming Out Day to you. If you are out and free and all that good stuff, I am glad that you are able to live your life out of the closet and out loud. If you are in the closet, I hope that one day you are in a place where you are free to be your authentic self. I know some of us are in the closet still for safety reasons, and for those of you who are doing that, baby, do what you gotta do. Just remain safe, handle your business, and I hope and pray for one day where you have spaces, even if one day you can't ever come out the closet like completely. I hope you have spaces to breathe, babe. I hope you have spaces to breathe. I hope you have spaces at the very least where you can be free. All right, all right, all right. Well, that's it, and I'm gonna let you guys go. If you made it to the end of this video, I wanna say thank you, baby. Gold star for you. Thank you, honey. Gold star for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate every bit of it. I appreciate your positive comments. I appreciate when people get out of pocket. I don't be helping a lot of people get out of pocket in the comments, and I regulate my comments for people who just come with their hatred, but sometimes I don't get there quick enough. And y'all be in the comments just regulating folks until I get there, which brings my attention to the ones who be acting real out of pocket. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for hitting notifications, bells. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for your financial appreciation. Thank you for clicking on my link tree. You can always find payment methods to show your financial appreciation to me in my link tree, which is in the description, baby. The Cash App is LadySpeech. The Venmo is LadySpeech Sankofa. The PayPal is LadySpeechSankofa@gmail.com. All right? All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. You know the drill. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you are feeling this, if you are feeling me, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notifications bell to keep up with everything I'm doing. And on that note, I hope you have a good day, a good morning, a good evening, a good mid-afternoon, a good mid-morning, a good middle of the night. Whenever you encounter this, have a good one. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.